Hello everybody, this is Tom Davenport and I'm here to show you how I make my marvelous challah bread. For many years now I've been making this bread during Lent, when we have a simple meal of soup and bread, and my Lenten devotion is to make bread. And everyone raves about it and thinks it's the most fantastic bread, but it's really simple, and I just thought I'd share the recipe with everybody. So what you'll need is a bread machine, one that has a dough setting on it, and then follow these ingredients, and then I'll show you all the different steps. And I will provide a link to the place where I get this recipe. It's on All Recipes, Best Challah Recipe, and I'll also tell you all the ingredients as we go along. Okay, let's start. First thing you do is take out your bread part, and you add in 1.5 cups of water. After that, you're going to need 5 egg yolks, and you need to separate the egg yolk from the white. There's 1. 2. 3. 4, and 5. You will need 1 more egg for the rest of the dish. So you got the 5 yolks and the water in your bread machine. The next thing is 1 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Oh, I gotta go get the salt. I just use a teaspoon plus a little extra to make up the 8. Following that, 4 1/2 cups of all-purpose or bread flour, and I like to use the bread flour. So I take my measure, scrape it off the top, make sure it's 1 full cup. 1. 2. 3. 4, and 1/2. All right. After that, I use 1/2 cup of sugar. Some people can use brown sugar. I just use white sugar. Also, there's 1/3 cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. So that's 1½ cups of water, 5 egg yolks, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of oil, 4½ cups of bread flour, 1/2 cup of sugar, and then 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Put that in there. Then I'm going to put the bread machine together and wait for 90 minutes until the dough is all prepared. I'm going to put it on the bread setting, or the dough setting. So it will take 90 minutes for the dough to do all of its kneading, and when it's done, then I'll come to the next part. So the dough is just about ready, finished its dough cycle. I'm going to dump it out on the floor, on the table here. And I'm going to divide it in half and then divide it in 3 parts. I'm not really kneading it very much because it's already been done. Then I just take one of the 3 pieces and stretch it out. The best thing about the bread dough is that it tends to be more flexible. There's a little more elasticity in it. Then the fun part is the weaving, which is very simple. Just a simple braid. And sort of pinch off the ends. Then I'm going to take it and put it on a piece of parchment paper on the baking pan. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Once I get these both together, I will put them on the stove, which is warm, and let it rise for another 30 minutes. I turned on the oven at 350, and I will bake the bread for 30 minutes once it's ready. But we'll let it rise, and then I'm going to brush it with some beaten egg. We have the 2 loaves, and I'm going to just put it on the oven where it's warm, let it rise for 30 minutes. So after about 30 minutes of allowing it to rise, I'm going to take this egg and just beat it. If I had a pastry brush, I would use that to brush the top of these loaves, but I don't. So I just use a little piece of paper towel, and I'm just going to dab the egg onto the bread. So what I've done, after it has risen for 30 minutes, after I'm dabbing it with the egg, then I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Then we'll see how beautiful these are. There they are. Beautiful. So our Wednesday night soup and bread is every Wednesday during Lent. Dinner at 6 o'clock, program at 6:30, and we're done by 7. Parchment United Methodist Church. Hope to see you. Bye-bye.